the new 2019 MSi GS65 Stealth, an already gorgeous design refreshed with this year's Intel 9th generation CPUs and RTX 20 series graphics. Desktop gaming power in sleek and slim design. Is it the right laptop for you? Welcome to my review, and thanks for watching.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited about the review I'm about to bring you today. We've got the pretty new MSi GS65 Stealth laptop. This is the 9SF model. They've been making the GS65 model of laptops for a while, but this is the Stealth brand. This is a direct competitor to your Razer Blade Stealths or any of the other new trendy sleek laptops that are trying to fit as much power into as small of a package as possible. Now, when you open the laptop, it's not very stealthy. I wouldn't walk into a business meeting as a sales representative expecting your machine not to grab a little bit of extra attention. So if they're going by stealth, maybe they just mean on the outside, because on the inside, there's nothing stealthy about it. It's loud, flamboyant, and crazy, but it's not unwelcomed. You know, this is what everybody wants in 2019, right? Lots of RGB on my keyboard, lots of power. They refreshed this model with a 240 hertz refresh monitor screen, a 15-inch screen, and it is really solid. It's really awesome. It's fun to game on, and this is going to be a review to cover some of the aspects of my time using it. I've been really blessed to even get a chance to even use this monster. It is a workhorse power machine that I can fit in my tiny little work bag when I go to work. But you can play any AAA title straight out the gate, no problem. They refreshed this model this year too with the RTX line. It comes in the 2060, the 2070, and the 2080. I believe in the 2070 and the 2080 models, they're using the Max Q models because with something in this small of a form factor, you're not going to be able to fit the most powerful full chip inside. But in comparison to some of last year's models of laptops, you know, it's nothing to sneeze at. And now you get your ray tracing. Everything just works. Just going to hit all of the points that are maybe pertinent to you. Maybe you're interested in something like this. You're a sales guy who's on the road, and you want to show off that you have really nice equipment and that you're a nice, clean, snazzy guy, but then when you're back in the hotel room, you know, you want to be able to play Borderlands 3 or something like that on Ultra with all the tessellation and anti-aliasing turned on, and you want to be able to see every single frame at every single moment. So let's dive into it, and thanks for checking me out.
I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this peel. The design of the logo is a little bit raised. It actually has some texture this year. That's kind of a small change from last year's model. I've been looking to get a skin for this, but I haven't been able to find like a D-brand skin or anything like that. Mostly due to the fact that the fingerprint thing is still, well, it's a fingerprint magnet, so. Now, the color popping IPS panel is 15.6 inches and comes in two different refresh rates, depending on the model. You can still get the lower end, if you want to call it that, 144 hertz display, or you can pick up the newer 240 hertz display that's exclusive to this year's refresh. The system measures exactly 14 inches long. The internals on this model, the 9SF, comes with the 2070 Max Q design graphic card. There is a G and an E model which host the 2080 Max Q and 2060 full cards respectively. That's paired alongside an Intel i7-9750H, a 6-core 12-thread beast that boosts to 4.5 gigahertz when not under heavy thermals. We'll get to more of that later. The width of the machine is just shy of 10 inches. and the power brick is 6 inches long and like 3 inches wide. It's pretty normal size for a power brick. I'm actually pretty impressed with how small it is. This is a 230 watt power brick. I mean, I've seen even most thin and lights that are just as big and don't need that much power. So with the lid closed, we have a nice matte black finish with just the gold accents at the corners. I think that that's just a really nice look. The deck flex when typing on the machine is very minimal. Last year, the speaker area, there was some flex, but this year I think they did a good job at making it pretty solid. It's slightly wobbly for being plastic. The screen frame itself is not very wobbly for being mostly made of plastic, but it's a very hard plastic. When folding back the screen, hinges are actually pretty strong. Not the best finish at the end. I wish it went all the way flat on the table, just for the fact that this is a really expensive display and I would hate to accidentally mess it up. The bezel cleanness is really awesome, almost edge to edge bezels, and that's beautiful. On the right side, we have regular USB, a USB-C 3.1 and Thunderbolt 3, a mini display port, and HDMI port. As a gripe, we do have the power cord on the right side, which I wish wasn't there due to whenever you're gaming, it's plugged in and always finds a way to be in the way. On the left side, we have 2 USB ports, microphone, and head jack, and your RJ45. A quick demonstration compared to the sound from a Cherry MX Brown keyboard. The trackpad this year actually has a pretty large improvement, mostly on surface area. I think there's a 30 to 40% growth in space. I don't think you can ever have enough trackpad space. It supports your normal gesture controls. It is a joy to use. I'd compare it to any of the best MacBook Pro trackpads. I tried to give you an audio sample with this clip, but I got so frustrated just trying to get it all to work with the freeware thing I was trying to use. So meh quality on the video here, and the microphone is just about as meh, but nothing to be expected. So how does it game? It has a very powerful GPU inside of it, but it's very small. So that might be an issue. Let's look at some frame rates inside of a few games that I tested and get back to talking about thermals. Starting off, we have some gameplay here from CSGO. All the footage is recorded directly from the machine. As you can see straight out the gate, we have a lot of red up there on those CPU cores. Remember how I said this thing could boost up to 4.5 gigahertz? But there's nowhere during this footage that you're going to see anything close to that. We're going to see the CPU hover in about 3 gigahertz to maybe 3.3 gigahertz territory, and mostly because the CPU is kissing TJ Maxx on a very regular basis. However, the graphics card is definitely not having any issues pushing out the frames on a very regular basis. The game stays above 100 FPS, sometimes going up into 150, 160 FPS, so for a really high refresh rate monitor, you're getting every bit of your money worth. In Overwatch's gameplay, we see things happen a little bit differently. The graphics card definitely gets a lot more use. We push it up to about 100% usage, and that's when we start to see a little bit more throttling from the graphics card side. So for a game that's more used to a really high FPS like Counter-Strike, you're going to be a little bit more CPU bound thermally, and then in something like Overwatch and probably anything else that's a little bit more graphically intensive, you're going to hit some kind of thermal throttling from the graphics card. Usually in the 76 to 77 degree range is when NVIDIA starts putting the reins back on these cards. Now don't get me wrong though, I am playing these games at pretty high level graphics, high or ultra settings in most cases. So your results may vary depending on if you want to dial it back for more of a frame rate standpoint. Setting mediums or even low type settings, you may be able to start pushing the FPS even higher. Here we'll round things out with the new Borderlands 3 that just came out recently. This is definitely the most intense of the 3 different games that I'm showcasing the FPS on. Again, you can see that about 77C is when the graphics card will start to thermally throttle and will pull back on the clock speeds just a little bit. So the GPU is only getting about 47 to 48% usage. Again, we see the CPU is just hitting 95C on a very regular basis. So the machine just can't push out anything more because it's such a small device. Temperatures are too high. Basically, that's where the downside comes to the machine. Again, I am playing a game like this on high settings, so there is going to be much more potential for frames as long as you're willing to dial back all the creature comforts and eye candy for low or medium settings, dialing back the shadows, and you might be able to get somewhere in the high 70s or 80s in a game like this.
So in conclusion, it achieves some of the things it set out to do. It wants to be under the radar, it wants to be classy, it wants to be extremely functional. In all of those places, it makes a big mark in the product category. However, there is the thermal issue, which can be glaring unless you're willing to sacrifice performance at this price point to aesthetics. So at the time of recording, this model of the laptop is $2,500 on Newegg. You can save yourself $500 by dropping down to that E model that has the 2060, and you're gonna have to cut your memory in half to 16 gigs. So at a starting price point of $2,000 to get this laptop into the market, while it has lots of competition from Razer, Asus makes the Zephyrus, I believe is what it's called. This is a great machine. It's awesome. But it is a luxury item. I recommend that if you are interested in something like this for the power, you're going to want to get something else. You could probably get something in a better price range, get a lot more performance, maybe add an extra ½ inch of thickness to your laptop, and you'll have a great portable machine that won't cost you an arm and a leg. If you want even more power, maybe you're looking at getting like a small LAN rig desktop. You just need to travel with that thing. So if you have the money to expend, I recommend something like this. This is a really fun machine to have if you don't have a main desktop rig and you have a little bit of extra money and you want something that can be a hybrid role, that can be both your desktop type of computing and it can be a mobile machine. This fits the bill. So that's it. That's the conclusion for right now. Thanks a lot, guys, for checking out the channel. Do the like and subscribe thing. I'm hoping to bring out more content, enhance the look and feel of all of my videos, and I appreciate you joining. Peace.